Hey everybody, welcome back to another business analysis video. I'm glad to be here. I actually have an interview today, not job interview by the way. I'm interviewing someone on our series Tips from the Experts. I keep looking at my hair. Focus yourself, focus. Yesterday night, I watched this Netflix documentary. I think everybody in the world needs to watch it because it affects everyone. It affects everybody, whether you're a BA or not. And it's titled, what's it called? The shopping something. It's called Buy Now, the Shopping Conspiracy. Guys, things are happening in this world. Things are happening. It's really sad. It's really sad because I'm part of it as well, to be honest. I try my best to recycle. I try my best to sort out my bins, I try my best not to buy too much clothes. I hardly go out, so I hardly have clothes. But I do get excited when it's holiday time. And even though, let's say I have 3 shorts, I want to buy 3 more, right? But now I want to take a conscious decision, especially in 2025. To spend less. Are you guys with me? Are you going to join me? Let's not spend anything this year. And if we feel the need to spend, let's rather look at what we have and what we can make do of. Are you guys with me? It will be nice. It'll be nice. And if you're not feeling motivated to do that, please watch this, The Shopping Conspiracy, Buy Now on Netflix, and you will feel a bunch of feelings. Anyway, so I wrote a few notes just so that I don't forget, because I literally just watched it last night. I didn't take any notes while watching. I just felt really bad, Have you ever looked at your packaging? Let's see. Don't have any packaging around. I actually don't. Oh, I have this Smarties packaging. There's 2 Smarties inside because I love snacking. It says, there's this recycle thing on it. Do you see? I know it's blurry, but you see the recycle. It also says, let's be recycling heroes. And then it has the recycling arrows. You know that recycling, green recycling arrows with the person dumping the thing in the bin. It says that this paper is recyclable. How are we to know that? Are we just believing the laws that are in place that, okay, these companies are actually recycling? This is so uncomfortable. I'm not used to it. But yeah, so we just trust whatever is on the packaging and then we recycle, right? But according to the documentary that I watched, it's not always true. It's most often times than not. Oh, it's not always true. Oh, I don't know what I'm saying, right? So watching this documentary, it really made me think about everything I know now, right? And all the work I've done to contribute to the environment. Has it actually made any impact? If the organizations that create these things actually aren't doing what they say that they're doing. You know what I mean? So now I have so many questions about all the things I thought I knew about sustainability, recycling, and my buying habits. There's just so many questions. And of course, as a business analyst, I know this kind of doesn't really come to our jobs as business analysts, but it does. It actually does. It does have impact in the questions that we're asking as business analysts, especially when we work for certain type of organizations. As a BA, I couldn't help but think, how do we fall into these systems? Maybe not just business analysts, there are so many other roles, right? How do we fall for these systems? And what role can we play in changing these things? You know what I mean? So in today's video, I kind of want to explore those hidden information, those hidden truths about consumerism, waste, and recycling through the lens of a business analyst, right? Because whether you're a business analyst or a consumer, you are both. We're all consumers, right? Or whatever job title you are. The lessons I got from watching this documentary are really, really powerful. And I wouldn't be able to sleep if I don't bring it here on my platform, right? So let's look at unpacking this conspiracy. It's a conspiracy, man. From what I watched from the documentary. And from what I remembered, it highlighted 3 major issues, right, with this conspiracy about recycling and protecting the environment. How the companies manipulate our buying habits. It's all manipulation. All the things on social media, the way they create the adverts and all that, it's all manipulation because they know what we want. So, for example, they mentioned about, do I remember clearly? They gave numbers. I don't know the precise numbers, right? But according to Shein's data, how much clothes they create in 1 year, like millions and millions. And then with H&M, hundreds of thousands. And then with another retail, hundreds and hundreds of thousands. And every year they do this because people keep buying. And then there was a part where, H&M always encourage their customers to bring in their old clothes for recycling. A bunch of the clothes that were given to H&M and maybe other organizations, other retail companies, are not actually recycled. They are taken from one country to another country, right? And dumped in the sea. There was a scene where they showed Ghana with bunch of clothes on the sea and coming. It just was really bad. I didn't really enjoy watching. So it leads me to think about the process, the retail process, where it ends for the organization. Obviously, there are certain things that the retail company probably are away from because it doesn't involve the retail life cycle process. For instance, whatever we do with our clothes, the recycling companies, or however it works, it's not in the control of the retail companies, right? But then it leads me to think maybe there are things we can do in projects to ensure that the companies are taking these ethical consideration into their projects, right? But anyway, I digress. These are the 3 major issues that were brought up on the documentary. The first one is our buying habits, right? Many companies rely on planned obsolescence, where the products are designed to fail, right, or become obsolete quickly. Think about your last smartphone. For instance, right? Did it really stop working? It didn't really stop working, but you just felt like you had to buy a new one. It made you feel like the new ones that they create every year or every couple of years or so, your phone still works. But because they create new features, new functions, you feel like, I have to have it because your old one is not good anymore. Do you actually have to have it? Come on. Think about it. Do you actually have to have it? And when you think about all these gadgets and things that we have or that we use, they don't last as long as the old ones. Remember those Nokia 3310 and all those other ones, how strong the battery life was, and how durable the phone was. Like when you drop it, nothing happens. Remember all those things. But then when through our buying habits and through the company continuously watching our buying habits, they feel like, they need to add this feature. Everybody wants to sell. Everybody wants to be among. Everybody wants to be on trend. What's trending, right? Why do we want to do that? The second issue that came up was, I'm trying to think what other thing. Oh, yeah, before I go on to the second issue, they showed a scene where many years ago in I think it was in the 1950s or something like that. I don't remember the numbers. The light bulbs, our light bulbs, they were made to last much longer. I don't have the figures, guys. Sorry, I just came on here and decided to do the video. But imagine a light bulb here. Let's just assume, if I have the right numbers, I'll put them here. But let's just assume light bulbs could they were made to last for 2 years, right? But then it lasts longer, so people don't really need to buy light bulbs only every 2 years, for instance. But now, with light bulbs that are made now, they don't last more than 6 months. Why is that? That company, I don't know the names, guys. I just watched this thing yesterday. But that company was thinking about how they can make more money from its customers. Isn't that greed? You're thinking of that, but you're not thinking of the waste and the impact it will have on the environment, But anyway, the second issue that came up in the video was about recycling, right? It revealed that most plastic, like I mentioned, with the recycling symbol, like I showed you on this My Smarties thing, it's not actually recycled, guys. It's not actually recycled. Many of us have been deceived into thinking that we're helping the planet. Well, the majority of the plastic, they end up in landfills or they're incinerated, right? And then when they're incinerated, when they're burned, they release toxins in the environment. Global warming, that's what is impacting our ozone layer. And they figured out that this is it. This is why we are having global warming. But it still continues, because how else are they going to discard of these plastics and other wastes that we have, so they showed scenes where you have so much landfills that they bury them. You continue burying till when? How big is the world in comparison to the waste? And then they showed some other scenes of how big the waste is, as huge as Japan. How many countries do we want to fill with waste before we realize that the earth is dying? We're killing the earth. And it really, really bothers me a lot. It bothers me a lot. So all my recycling that I've been doing, like a quarter of them don't even get recycled. They don't. They actually don't. They just get tossed or thrown or dumped. This now leads me to waste, which was the third issue that came up. I'm sorry if I'm going all over the place with this. Like I said, I didn't really plan it. I just tried to remember what I watched last night. But yeah, so the waste is the overproduction and overconsumption. It leads to mountains and mountains of waste. And these are mainly shipped to countries that actually can't handle it sustainably. And that's really sad. So what they do is they fill these containers with bunch of wastes and post it through to other countries like Ghana, some other areas of Africa. I'm sure Nigeria is included as well. And they post it to the Philippines and Thailand. It's really sad. And those countries don't know how to get rid of these things in a sustainable way, And it also mentioned that there are like laws placed for these waste not to be sent off to these countries. But then what they do is they'll stick $100 bill on the container so that when the officials that are going around to check what's in the container see the $100 bill, they know that, oh, okay, they will let it slide. Bribery and corruption. On the earth, our home, that we're supposed to protect. It's really sad. It's really sad. It actually makes me really sad, But anyway, so I want to think about this from a business analysis perspective. How does it? Is somebody at my door? Oh, it was my phone. phone just vibrated. How does it connect to business analysis? I think it's all about systems, to be honest. It's all about systems, broken systems that need better processes. It also needs ethical leadership and transparency. There is no transparency with most of these things. There was a scene where this lady that worked at Amazon, there was like what did they call it when the staff there was like a staff strike because people realized that a bunch of the products on Amazon that don't get sold in the time frame that the manufacturers want it to be sold, they don't actually get to the shelf. They get destroyed without being used. They show scenes where there's some designer products when the designer they have like, I don't know, maybe they have like a quota of things that they need to sell in the next 6 months, for instance, and those things don't sell. They use knife and destroy designer bags that are worth hundreds and hundreds of, maybe thousands of pounds. Well, there's just so much waste. There was other ones. I think I'm going over and over. But I think you should watch it yourself. I don't want to spoil it for you by telling you everything that happened on it. But please watch it. I think I've kind of given a bit of summary about it. But now I want to look at how it connects to business analysis. Like I mentioned, it's about all the systems, right? So I couldn't help but think how business analysis or analysis generally can help to understand and address these issues. Not just business analysis, data analysis, systems analysis, right? The first thing that comes to my mind is a stakeholder needs and wants, which is the area of work that we get involved in as business analysts, right? So in all these in the documentary, those companies create wants that are disguised as needs so that they can drive sales, right? If we didn't have those adverts pushed to us as things that we need, we wouldn't actually want them. You know what I mean? And as BAs, we often see this play out with stakeholders. Right? They might say things like, "Oh, we need a flashy new feature for this system. We need a flashy new feature." But then when we dig deeper as business analysts, we find that flashy new feature they're talking about is not actually essential for the system to work. Right? It's generally a want that distracts from the real problems. Right? So our role as business analysts is to separate the two, the difference between wants and needs, and ask the right questions. What problems are we trying to solve? When the stakeholder comes and says, "Oh, we need this. Oh, we need this." So, yeah, okay. These are all the fancy things you need. But what problems exactly are we trying to solve? Let's focus on that as business analysts. So imagine if the business analyst asks this before designing the product. Yeah, sometimes we want flashy things just for the sake of it. But is it really solving any problems, right? Would they still prioritize the planned making things obsolete or over long-lasting solutions? Maybe not. You never know. It's worth a try to ask those questions. The second lesson here I took from this as a business analyst is ethical decision making, right? In the documentary, they talked about the greenwashing. Like I said, greenwashing companies like, I think it was Coke, or I don't want to name names, right? But they do this greenwashing and say, "Oh, for every whatever product sold, we are planting whatever amount of trees," right? When the companies falsely market themselves as environmentally friendly, when like if you dig deep, they actually aren't, right? Is an example of unethical processes that they have in place. So as business analysts, we are responsible for questioning solutions and raising concerns about their impacts. Those solutions that we are helping to create, which solve problems, what impacts are they having ethically, right? Are we promoting sustainability, or are we just creating an illusion of sustainability? So, for example, when defining requirements for maybe a supply chain, we could ask questions such as, can this process reduce waste? That's one problem. Are there ethical alternatives? Depending on the solution that we're implementing, is there an alternative that's more ethical? Our influence here as business analysts is critical, as analysts in general, right? A third lesson I took from this is about data and transparency, right? Like I said, you have to watch the documentary so you know all the numbers. I don't want to watch it again to confirm the numbers, but I know you guys get what I mean. You're all smart, amazing people. Data generally is what drives decision making, right? So I was looking at requirements process mapping today, and they talked about data, how we need to understand the number of rejections we get, we need to understand the number of claims we get, but the data isn't really showing that. You see, in order for us to improve our processing, we need to understand data. I'm not going into details of my project, but it just came to mind. But the data, as much as it drives decision making, it can also be misleading, the recycling industry, it often reports input data, like how much material enters recycling plants, right? How much materials are actually going into recycling plants, rather than output data, like how much is actually recycled. Yes, we send all these things to the recycling plants for recycling, but how much of those things that we send are actually recycled? As business analysts, it's our job to ensure that data transparency. As much as we're thinking of input data, let's also think about output data, is what I'm saying. Defining clear metrics and validating results, right? So this is another reason why proper reporting frameworks are so important in any project that we do. We always need to ensure that we have proper reporting frameworks in place, capturing the right reporting requirements as well. If the companies manipulated the data less, maybe consumers will make better informed decision, because the input data that they are probably providing to us, we send 100% to the recycling plant to be recycled. And they were like, yeah, I'll keep buying from this company because they recycle everything. We assume that they recycle. All they do is send it. But what is the actual output data showing how much they actually recycle, and the things that they don't recycle, where does it go to? It leads me to my next lesson, which is systems thinking. It's a big one. The documentary shows how broken supply chains contribute to environmental harm. As BAs, we look at big picture. Right, that's what we do. We identify inefficiencies and systemic flows so that we can recommend improvements. Right. So, for example, a BA working in retail could redesign the supply chains to reduce overproduction, or advocate for reusable packaging. We can do that through systems thinking. Small changes can have big impact. It's a start. So what can we do really, whether you're a BA, whether you're a consumer, whether you're both, which of course you are both, you have the power to drive change. So let's think about it for consumers. Start asking critical questions. Do you really need the next new thing? Do you actually need it? Does this product align with your values, or you're just following the trend? Right? And then for business analysts, let's push transparency and ethical practices in every project. I'm also going to try and be doing that going forward. Remember, we have all the tools to identify the real problems and also advocate for better solutions. So the next time you're working on a project, maybe ask yourself, are we solving the right problem? It can help you uncover and ask the right questions to your stakeholders, right? And also ask, what impact will these solutions have beyond the business goals? Because businesses tend to focus on their goals, their objectives. But beyond that, what are the impacts it's having if this business goal is visualized, So finally, watching this this documentary, it has shifted my perspective, to be honest. Not just as a consumer, obviously, but also as a business analyst. It reminded me that business analysts or analysis in general is not just about solving problems, right? It's about solving the right problems. That's key there. Solving the right problems and doing so ethically. We need to start caring about the earth and the impact we're having as consumers on our home, If you take one thing from this video, let it be this. As analysts, we're more than problem solvers, right? Let's think about it that way. We're change makers. We enable change, right? So let's use our skills going forward as business analysts to build systems that are sustainable, ethical, and transparent. It will really, really help us to save this world for the future generation, to be honest. I'm really, really worried about it. But anyway, I'm going to close it there so that I stop rambling on. Rambling on. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. You never know who it might help. It would help the whole world, I think. If you have any questions, if you have any contributions, please link them in the comment section. If you go ahead and watch the documentary, link in the comment section. Let me know what you think and what can we do. What can we do to improve things, really? Let's keep the conversation going, But that's it for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this content. Yeah, something a bit different, but still relates to what we do as business analysts. But yeah, as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next one. Peace.